People who don't show emotions are usually the people feeling the most inside, and most people never realize that, because emotionally hidden people become experts at pretending everything is okay. They smile at the right moments, they laugh when everyone else laughs, they say, "I'm fine," automatically, and after years of doing this, it becomes natural. But deep inside, their mind never becomes quiet. Because people who hide emotions tend to overthink everything, every conversation, every reaction, every small change in someone's tone. They notice things other people ignore, a delayed reply, a cold expression, a different attitude. And while everyone moves on normally, their brain keeps replaying the moment over and over again, trying to understand what went wrong, trying to avoid rejection before it happens again. And eventually, they stop expressing themselves completely, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. A lot of emotionally closed people were once very open, very sensitive, very caring, but life slowly taught them that vulnerability can become dangerous. Maybe someone ignored their feelings, maybe someone betrayed their trust, maybe every time they opened up, they felt embarrassed afterward, so they started hiding parts of themselves. At first it was temporary, then it became a habit, and finally, it became their personality. Now they struggle to explain how they feel. Even simple emotions become difficult to express. Sometimes they want help, but physically cannot ask for it. Sometimes they want someone to understand them, but they don't know how to let anyone close enough. So instead, they stay quiet. And silence slowly becomes emotional protection. Because silence feels safer than disappointment, safer than rejection, safer than being misunderstood again. The strange thing is, people often think emotionally hidden individuals are cold-hearted, but the truth is usually the opposite. They feel everything deeply. That's exactly why they hide it, because feeling everything all the time becomes exhausting. Imagine constantly thinking about how people see you, constantly worrying about losing people, constantly preparing yourself emotionally for pain before it even happens. That level of emotional pressure drains a person slowly. And after years of suppressing emotions, something dangerous begins happening. Emotional numbness. You stop reacting the same way. You stop feeling excitement fully. You stop feeling connected fully. Even happiness starts feeling distant. And eventually, you begin feeling disconnected from yourself. That's why some emotionally hidden people isolate themselves, not because they hate people, but because their mind feels tired. Social interaction becomes exhausting. Explaining emotions becomes exhausting. Pretending to be okay becomes exhausting. And the saddest part is, many of these people secretly wish someone would notice. Not force them to speak, not pressure them, just notice. Because deep inside, most emotionally closed people still want connection. They still want comfort. They still want someone they can feel safe around. But when a person spends years surviving through emotional walls, trust becomes difficult. Even love can feel uncomfortable. Because vulnerability starts feeling dangerous, so they push people away before people can hurt them first. And most people never understand this. They only see the quiet behavior, the distant personality, the emotionless face. They never see the battle happening internally. But some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are people fighting silent emotional wars nobody knows about. The calmest faces often hide the loudest minds. And sometimes, the people who say the least are the people carrying the most pain. People who hide emotions are not weak. They're exhausted from carrying feelings they never learned how to release. And maybe the most powerful thing a person can experience is finally finding someone who makes them feel emotionally safe. Because sometimes, healing doesn't begin when someone talks more. It begins when they finally stop feeling afraid to.